I'm Shelby Grubbs. I practice in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm going to talk about when one begins settlement negotiations. In other words, how early in a litigation should you initiate settlement discussions, and whether one should be frightened of negotiating or beginning settlement negotiations on the theory that we often hear that beginning settlement negotiations or suggesting settlement negotiations is a, quote, sign of weakness. I confess to a prejudice about this. I think that this sign of weakness business is absolute nonsense. The fact of the matter is that in almost every court in the country, something north of 92% of cases settle. The question is when. And we do our clients a disservice by putting off settlement unnecessarily. On the other hand, it's very clear that you have to have sufficient information to evaluate your case before you can effectively represent your client in settlement negotiations. So my suggestion is that in any case other than a class litigation, which I would put in a separate category, that you should, at the time you begin planning your discovery, consult with your adversary, perhaps include in a letter to your adversary a suggestion that you bifurcate discovery or at least schedule discovery in such a way that you will determine what you need to determine to evaluate the case as early as possible, and that you should be quite explicit about doing that. As a matter of fact, I think you should ask your adversary what information he or she needs to evaluate the case for settlement at the earliest possible date, and begin talking about settlement since it's out there for you and for both of you from the beginning to the end. Begin talking about it at an early date.